And welcome everybody to the channel. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking. The man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying villain in YouTube entertainment today. And it has been a very long time, it feels like, since I've been able to stream because work and reasons. So hopefully, I don't know how many people I'm going to have in because this is a weird night. I don't normally do the weeknights, but welcome everybody. We should be getting more people in to the special edition late night talks, weekend night talks. I don't know. It's a title in progress. But anyways, welcome Trey. Good to see you. And we're gonna be talking about some different things. I'm gonna be hitting some controversial stuff, Cyber, because fuck it. I haven't been streaming in a while, so I might as well just get my stream pulled right away, because you know how I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, we
Oh,
got some
yeah.
awesome hot button topics. Some shit that's happened that apparently when like you're not online or on YouTube, like the whole world uh changes. Like you know what I'm talking about? Like you miss like a day or two or something like that, and it's like you've missed like everything in the YouTube verse.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Looking at.
dude, I have missed so many articles, so much shit. So, uh, yeah, already I see, I see Trey Courtney lighting up the chat talking about fuck Naughty Dog. Yeah, I'm gonna get to this
Yeah, yeah.
because I've
It is
got
what it
some
is.
feelings about this. Uh, what are your initial feelings before we dive into the article, Mr. Cybernetic Husky?
Oh, I don't care. Also, if we're going to do this and it's possibly going to get pulled, we're going to get in style. I will share my screen. You just tell me which article I pulled up both of them.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna be bringing those articles up. I especially want to share that one with the two girls holding each other. I don't know, but you know, here's my thing. I am just so tired of the fact that we're at this place where we have video games that feel they have to put this shit in. Like we talk about woke, holy fuck, man! Like this game appears to be going in that direction. And the sad part is, I played the original game. It was a very good game, very good storyline, compelling stuff. I honestly, I'd make the bold claim that I put it up there with like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, that kind of genre. It took those kind of things and it flipped it. And the great part is that the lead character, Joel, was an anti-hero. He wasn't like a Leon or something like that. You know what I mean? Or what's his face from Silent Hill? I always forget the dad's name. Um, he wasn't a straight up protagonist. He was a very shady motherfucker that happened to be doing a good thing. And I thought it added layers to the story. And now it seems like I don't know why Sony, and in particular Naughty Dog, would take this route. And I mean, I got a chance to see the leaks, and if that is where the story is heading, it's a very sad day. But we're going to pull up the article because there's also a big problem with the leaks coming out. They've had to push back the development because of this whole Corona shit, but it may have backfired on them because now people are getting these leaks and being like, fuck this bullshit. I don't want to get this game. So it's going to be very interesting. We're also going to talk about AMC and their battle with Sony. And, you know, I'm conflicted on this one because I can see both sides. I really can. And I say that as someone who works at the theater. Like from the other side of it, I can see what they're saying. but I think it's fucking stupid. And I'll get into my reasons why. Like AMC has been fucking up. They've been losing money, and you got to pick your battles. So it's
All right.
it's definitely going to be a very interesting. It's going to be a very interesting night, a very interesting bunch of topics. And if you guys don't know, go check out the Prophets of Geek Culture. So it's really weird streaming on this night. I honestly don't know how many people I'm gonna have watching because I don't normally stream on Fridays, Friday nights, Saturday morning, whatever. So, uh, Cyber, me and you are going to go into this article here
All right.
with the
Couple things. It says that Chrome will probably crash, which I have it pulled up on.
okay.
They said it's a current bug they have, so that's a heads up.
All
And
right.
which article do you want first?
Let's go to the Forbes article. I'm gonna pull up the Forbes article because Forbes is very reliable when they're not talking about political shit. They do give some good stuff. And let's really go into the sales. Like the sales of this, the yeah. I agree, Trey. And Trey, hang around, buddy. Don't worry. I'm gonna get to the AMC thing because there is a lot of shit going down with Halloween Kills and Jurassic Park 3. I know you've been looking forward to that because I'm really curious how that's gonna play out. But let's go to this Forbes article. Now, this is from Paul, and I was actually surprised. I don't know about you, Cyber, but I've never seen a game actually make it into Forbes before, whether it's good or bad news. I've never seen Forbes talk about a video game before. That's how big this whole thing was. So, warning, there was a massive The Last of Us 2 leak reveals plot details you don't want to see. This was posted on 4/28 at 9 a.m. Not great news for Naughty Dog today as they scrambled to do damage control over a major leak of The Last of Us Part 2. Parts of the games taken from a dev built have been leaked online, being disseminated across YouTube. This includes an enormous amount of cutscenes from the game, various dev menus that reveals levels, plot points for The Last of Us 2. No spoilers will follow in this article. It's a massive, sprawling leak, and obviously something almost everyone is going to want to avoid, lest you fail to be surprised by the various twists and turns of the game. I doubt that. One point in particular that's been revealed has been described as something that was supposed to hit players unexpectedly, but I don't know what it is, and I will not be discussing any of those leaks here because I've been trying to avoid them, as you should be. The rumor clearly
Can
circulating.
I say one of them? Can I say one of them?
Let's wait.
All right. Let's wait until the stream gets pulled.
No. Let's wait until we're done with the article, and then we'll go into some of the stuff, or you could go into some of the stuff. Uh, I've been kind of out of it, so I haven't been following it as much as I could. I just know there was a huge shitstorm on Twitter and like 10,000 videos about this, and about like 9,000 of them got pulled. But anyways,
Oh, before that, hi Shu, how are you doing? That's Shu.
oh
He comes to my streams and my videos and stuff. He's my guy.
oh, shout
I
out! Good to have you here, Shu, and you're very colorful looking. So welcome to the late night talks. Good to have you. We're covering this Last of Us 2. And look, just a heads up. Cyber later on after our article, we will get into those leaks. So we'll talk about them, and then you and me can kind of kick back and forth because I want to hear them. I'm curious. I have not heard them. I went to go to the video Cyber, and I was pissed because every one of them was pulled. I'm like, oh, what the fuck, man? Because I work like 5 in the morning until like 2:30 in the afternoon. I sleep the rest of the day. And then I get up and do it all over again. So it's been like a repetitive cycle. So I've been out of the news. So this is all new to me. The rumors currently circulating, the devs build leaks are from a disgruntled Naughty Dog employee who was being tired of being mistreated there. So Naughty Dog apparently has a problem with mistreating their employees, and this is probably a good warning for everyone. Treat your people right, especially in Corona times. For someone to get pissed and be like, fuck my job and leak this shit, because from what I heard, he leaked some major shit. The game's already pretty much finished, so he decided to mass leak all this stuff that has not been confirmed at all yet and could bring up a fan creation based on the facts that this is a dev build from Naughty Dog, is a studio known for extremely intense crunch. We'll have to wait and hear about the angle of the leak, but for now, this is just a rumor. As for the game itself, it was delayed indefinitely by Sony about a month ago as the pandemic lockdowns began. And I'm going to read another article about this, but it's kind of ironic because you would think this would be something that you would want your people to have while they're locked down. And that's brought up in the next article, but I'm not going to jump ahead. Reportedly, the game is pretty much finished. And this was more of a marketing decision, rather something that was done because work literally couldn't be completed on the game. The Last of Us Part 2 was supposed to be released May 29th. But there is no new date for the release. Presumably, we will see it come out for the holidays, possibly alongside the PS5 as a quasi-launch title. Even though it's been made for the PS4, we still don't know for sure if the PS5 version of the game exists and how players might be able to upgrade. If so, fall is a long, long time away, and also a long time to be dodging spoilers, given how much leaks are out there. Whoever did this is about to be in a world of legal trouble, whether they are disgruntled employee or not, and I would not want to be in their shoes. I know some websites and YouTubers are going to dive into the leaks and dissect them for viewers. I will not be doing that, though I fear with as much as I'm online, I'll probably be able to or probably won't be able to dodge big plot points forever. So as it takes is one troll on Twitter or Twitch chat to ruin something. Stay safe out there. Update, the game has gotten a new release date, June 29 or June 19th, not even a month after its old date. The report was from a disgruntled employee that posted the footage and these details that seem to have been panned out. Just catching up on this is their Twitter. Just catching up on the Naughty Dog story, and man, no matter how angry you are about the workplace conditions or your pay or whatever else, leaking a whole game just hurts all of the people who were in the trenches with you. So many better ways to channel your rage, blah, blah, blah. This has sparked a debate between sides like, well, Naughty Dog deserves this because of how badly they treat their workers, citing stories like the ones from whatever the fuck his name is about how horrific crunch can be to finish these massive AA games, including The Last of Us Part 2. And the other side is this hurts everyone in the company, not just bosses, given all the hard work it takes to launch. Past this, the leaks appear to be damaging the sense that I keep hearing that many people don't even want to play the game now after seeing them And I'll get into that. There's reasons why people don't want to play the game, but it's not because of the leaks. It's what the leaks talk about, whatever that means. So whatever has been revealed does not sound great. Though I will be avoiding searching out this information, Naughty Dog itself has not commented on the situation, and it sounds suitable. A suitable morning. One thing we did get out of this, however, is the June release date, which is much sooner than anyone expected, only a few weeks based on its original late May release date. So, oh, Home One, welcome. Sorry about that. I was reading. He says, "Hey guys, MegaJitty1 here on my third account dedicated to Star Wars lore." Go, MegaJetty.
Oh yeah, they can sue him for leaking the game, but he can sue them for overworking their employees.
Yeah, I think that cancels itself out.
Yeah, guess who's gonna fucking win that case?
So, Cyber, now that we've gotten past that article, what can you tell us? Give us some details about what these leaks contain. Have you seen anything? What is the thing?
I've seen one really big one. Joel gets clubbed to death.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
Joel dies.
Well, I heard that floating around somewhere. That is terrible. So that means what's her face takes over, right, as the main protagonist?
Yeah. I saw that in the fucking trending. I'm like, okay, so the person he had in the other game who survived this lost his daughter's now fucking dead.
But is this like midway? Is it in the beginning of the game? Do you got like no context where this is?
So far I have no context. It's whenever that terribly rendered person that the Senate kept making fun of, who's been offline these past weeks, so he won't be here to talk about it. He won't be in the comments to talk about it. If you follow the Senate, you know who he's talking about. This is that very terrible character. And that you know which one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
You've seen it, right? Yeah. That's the one that beats him or whatever. This fucking I don't know. That looks terrible. Looks terrible. I think there's more than just these leaks. I think some things written, some things animated were done as a middle finger for overworking for them being overworked.
It's very interesting. Something happened, something big, because look, we've gotten a lot of video games. This is the first one. Welcome, Subhuman84. This is the first one where it's been like Star Wars, where someone just leaked shit. Just because. This feels like they not only were they maybe overworked, because let's face it, in the video game industry, everybody is overworked, but there must have been something done, maybe something in the game, something creatively, I feel like, that really pissed off this person to go online and, say, fuck it.
Yes, I know people can be overworked in a video game, but there is, let's just say this, if there was this much of a problem over all these years, you think Nintendo would have faced all these overworked employees problems like all these other companies are? No, because they actually take care of their employees and make sure the game is fine when it comes out. Then the main thing is, if you don't overwork your employees, you're going to get a lot more productivity out of them than constantly keeping them for hours and hours and hours of a day. So some of these overworkings can be from sunrise to sunrise. That's what the overworking of the employees on these are. And it's not always voluntary. It is forced. That's how it becomes overworked in the gaming industry.
Now, I've heard in the game there is also a lot of how do I say, they are pushing. I hate to be one of these people, but I'm going by pictures and shit I've seen. I mean, like, it's there, but they are putting in some of that agenda politics in video games. And here's the thing, before we jump into this subject. the one thing that these people don't seem to get, these higher ups, is especially in video games is a very niche audience. They do not put up with that shit. We've seen so many games try to go to this route and fail massively. There was that one, what was it? Was Battlefield 5 or one of them where it had like a female soldier and people
Yep,
lost their
that
shit.
was Battlefield 5 because it took place
Oh,
in World War II.
yeah, just the history was off. The character was one dimensional. I played it because I didn't want to just listen and be like, oh, people saying it's woke. Like, I played it and I was like, this shit is like, and Battlefield 5, Battlefield in general is known for being more realistic than Call of Duty. That's why so many people like it. And that game in particular was just so terrible with just all across the board. The multiplayer was shit. The storyline was shit. I didn't like anything about it. A lot of people hated it, and its sales did terrible. I think it was the worst selling Battlefield in the history of the franchise.
I looked at the reload animations and it got me pissed off because it did them all by hand. And then I looked at the Call of Duty World War II and I didn't play these games. I looked at the side by side comparison because somebody showed the guns. And Call of Duty remembered that everyone had clips in World War II because that's how you reloaded your guns.
Mm-hmm.
Because but the one thing both of them got wrong in the recent ones is that the Thompson had a drum. They did not have drum in those drums for the Tommy guns in World War II because they were unreliable and they would jam. So it was just a standard magazine.
Yeah, and there was a lot of things that they did where they fucked it up, and people noticed that. So people in the gaming community, they they are a lot more up on this shit. You try to pull a fast one on them, they will hit your game financially. And that's why a lot of games don't go that route. And I seen clips from Last of Us 2. They had a scene with the girl there, sweet little innocent. I always forget her name. Fuck me. If anyone remembers what her name is, go ahead and put it in the chat. But she was kissing another girl, but then she's got a guy love interest, so now they're hinting that maybe she's bisexual. It's like, what the fuck in the apocalypse? How does that add anything to the storyline? Like, I don't mind that shit in the game if it adds context to the character, but what does that have to do with game progression or anything like
Yeah.
that? Especially with video games, shit like that doesn't add anything because there's no reason for it. There's no context, and I hate that shit. And you know, in a video game, it's just fucking weird. You
Yeah.
know,
And here's the thing: if anyone's thinking about these leaks, oh, is this going to hurt the game itself? No, no. They'll try to say the leaks hurt the game, but you guys remember like pretty much every Assassin's Creed game since like 3, 4 got leaked, and all but Unity did pretty well.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's never the leaks, it's the consumer. Now, don't get me wrong, what people see in the story may affect the game's sales because if they know what's gonna they might be turned off by it. But okay, there were people coming out and saying particular videos saying, "Oh, there's been massive people canceling their pre-orders," but I call bullshit on that because no one knows the amount of pre-orders on a game or that got canceled except for GameStop and places like that where you pre-order your game, not to mention digital download and stuff like that. You can't account for that. So we can't say that they're going to lose any money, but the company is pretty nervous because they actually pushed up the date. So, I mean, they pushed it up from what the original date was into June. So they are a little bit nervous about these leaks. And, that might speak to the game itself. They might be nervous about the game. And to tell you the truth, this game really didn't need a sequel.
The company itself could have also handled all this shit easier. They could have remained calm and just played it off. Oh, it's fucking fake, even if you know it's proven to be true. But they could have played it off. I mean, Valve and people saw me covering it quickly, and I gotta get like the whole fucking story down, but I haven't gotten around to it. But they had those source code leaks that turned out to be old source codes, but they still looked at it and told everyone it's all right because they care about their consumers. But they kept a level head about it. They didn't say, "Oh, we're looking into this. We're looking at it." No, they told you we already look. They told you after they looked into it that it's all going to be all right. But that's the thing. You could have kept the level head about it, kept calm about it, and then it could have disappeared. But what you did is you now sparked it, and then it went and caught fire, and now it's
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah. This is a disaster. And actually, if you want to pull up the other article I have from Gaming News, that second article, because this is going to speak to their panic now. This company is in panic mode, and making some pretty hasty and probably bad decisions. So The Last of Us Part 2, awful spoilers make Sony delay a disaster. With The Last of Us 2, Part 2 spoilers spreading like wildfire, there's growing pressure for Sony to release the game digitally. So it might come out sooner on digital download. This wasn't how we envisioned the PS4's most anticipated exclusive would make headlines. Major spoilers for The Last of Us Part 2 were circulating on social media thanks to a series of massive leaks. This article contains zero spoilers, of course, but this included story spoilers, a few lists of missions, cut scenes, main menus, and substantial gameplay footage. There are calls for Sony to release the game digitally as soon as possible to avoid diluting the experience for players. Massive spoilers for the upcoming The Last of Us Part 2 found their way on to the usual gaming haunts and social medias yesterday. The spoilers appeared to originate from leaks released into the wild by a disgruntled Naughty Dog employee as retribution for a alleged pay dispute. So it was a dispute of pay that this guy was mad about. Sony jumps to limit damage, but it's already too late. The leaks come in the wake of what has been a difficult few weeks for PlayStation 4 exclusives. Earlier this month, Sony and Naughty Dog announced that they had delayed the game indefinitely from the slated May 29th release date. They cited logistical hurdles thrown up by the COVID-19 pandemic, hampering the distribution of physical copies of The Last of Us 2 as the reason behind the decision. Sony scrubbed the leaks from social media and YouTube rapidly, but unsurprisingly, it was already too late. Fans of those and intent on spoiling the game for others created mirror copies of the videos and screenshots almost immediately, with these spreading far and wide. The scopes of the leaks is substantial. This isn't a vague run-in-the-mill leak hinting to an overarching story or featuring rogue screenshots. We're talking about major story spoilers, a full list of missions, cutscenes, main menu, and substantial gameplay footage, notably of the end of the game. We urge you to avoid anything The Last of Us Part 2 related on social media to avoid disappointment, but even that may not be enough. Certain people have taken to dropping major plot points and spoilers on Twitter threads seemingly unrelated to the game. Calls to release The Last of Us Part 2 digitally. The situation has led for calls for Sony to release The Last of Us Part 2 digitally. The logic is that the widespread dissemination of the leaks means an increasingly difficulty to steer clear of spoilers. There are also concerns even more leaks may find their way online, further adding to the glut of details already out there. There's some Twitters here uh, that say this is The Last of Us leak is possibly the worst I've ever seen in gaming. It's so high profile. I genuinely wonder whether they will expedite the release. Someone else put, so apparently the entire plot of The Last of Us Part 2 has been leaked, including some cutscenes. So much for releasing it the same day for everybody to avoid spoilers. Might as well put out the game digitally ASAP. Uh, and then, more people reacting. With Sony and Naughty Dog still working out an alternate release strategy for The Last of Us, which was the June 19th date, there's now even more pressure for clarity about the when the players can expect to get their hands on the game. As Sony and Naughty Dog stated previously, their desires to ensure the game's release simultaneously in both digital and physical formats to cater to a player's preference. The idea is to ensure everyone has access to the game at the same time to preserve the best experience for everyone, which is bullshit because most people can get it digital download. If you have PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, you have online. Most people get their games digitally.
Most of the games you get on Steam are digital. Actually, pretty much every game you get is digital. You'll get, and if you have a game you buy physically from like a store with a PC game, yeah, that's your installation disc.
So yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't know. They should just release it digitally. But whether this emanates from genuine concern for players or related to Sony waiting to maximize their sales of the game through physical copies is unclear. If the latter is true, then Sony profit motivated risks potentially ruining the experience for many. The sheer hype behind and the appetite for The Last of Us Part 2 suggest the game will be a massive hit even if released digitally ahead of its physical release further down the line. It it isn't unreasonable to assume that we'll be hearing Sony and Naughty Dog shortly. Silence would do nothing but further destabilize the already crumbling foundation for The Last of Us 2. So, yeah, there's a it's a mess. It's just a mess. I don't even know. I don't even know what to make of it. I think they should just release the game digitally, get it done and over with.
Yeah.
I mean, do you get your games digitally or do you buy physical?
Well, I like buying them physical, but digital is convenience, but also a reason why I don't always buy digital because fucking hard drive space.
Oh yeah, hard
And
drive space is a bitch.
that's the number one thing I think of. And that's kind of why I'm going a little more physical copies with the Nintendo Switch I have. But also because if you have a physical copy, and you're done with, let's say you're done with the game, you haven't played it for a while, and your friend never had it. Oh, you can borrow my game. Then they could try it. They don't have to buy it. And, there's still benefits to physical copy, and your friends don't have to have their profile on their system and have their system be your Xbox or console, whatever. And that gets a little confusing and annoying right there, but that's basically what you have to do for like most consoles if you want your friends to play your games digitally.
Yeah, it's just it's really amazes me. It boggles my mind the massive fuck up that this whole thing has been.
And you cut out.
Lean to it. Oh, I'm sorry. The fact that this is apparently having a political lean, a lot of people aren't happy with the shit being leaked. Yeah, if I was the company, I'd say fuck it. I would just put this game out immediately. Like, I do the digital download option, and I try to make as much money as you can on this now because you got to think of it too. Uh, places are just starting to open up. Or at least around here, we've had some announcements, some stores and shit are going to start opening. But that doesn't mean Game Stops and things like that are going to open right away, or places where you can get video games at. They're not considered essential. So you're going to be waiting months for this thing to release. You might as well get something out to the people.
You got Walmarts and Targets open in your area, right? Because I do.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that'd be where you'd get the games.
yeah, I mean, there's plenty of places where they can distribute these games too. Plenty of retail chains and things like that. And this waiting is just going to hurt them. It's going to hurt them badly. It's a bad mistake. Uh,
Because it's just
people
going
are
to
losing
keep
interest.
growing. It's just going to keep growing. They're just going to keep struggling with trying to keep it calm now because there's already a raging fire, but it's just going to keep burning and burning and burning until it releases. And then in about a year after it releases, it'll die down. And I say after it dies down because if the leaks are true and people get mad, it's going to burn even more.
Oh yeah, because then you're gonna have people going online talking about how much it sucks. You're gonna have playthroughs and things like that. I mean, yeah, this is definitely a big shit show. But Naughty Dog, what have they worked on besides this? I know they've got a couple of games. I'm just failing to remember what they've worked on, and I can't
Crash
exactly.
Bandicoot.
Yeah, but before that, I mean after that, they've had a couple of other games besides this. Oh, there we go. Uncharted. Thank you, Trey. Uncharted was a pretty successful series, but they've had some hits, but this was like supposed to be their flagship. Like this was supposed to be the game. This was supposed to be like the Doom. And welcome, bitchy unicorn. The better half is here in the chat. So yeah, it, this is just a big fucking disaster. I'd say actually this was worse than Star Wars leaks. And I didn't think anything could be worse than that because I had never seen as many leaks that were true that we got about Rise of Trash.
Man, yeah, I know. The big leak with like that movie. I'm like, oh, there's a crawl, and then I saw the crawl. I'm like, oh, god, fucking damn it.
Yeah, so I mean, it is just a giant fucking disaster. It's a mess. To
Yeah.
kind of end this whole thing, what are your thoughts? I mean, what do you think that they should do? What's the best way to handle this? Because you deal with a lot of the
Well,
gaming shit. You're pretty up
I
on
told
that.
you what they should have done. It didn't happen. It's already a fire. It's too late now. It really
So,
is.
so you don't think there's any way they can salvage this? You think they're gonna lose a big amount of money?
No, yeah, well, probably. They should have stayed calm about this and not freaked out.
Well, yeah, I agree with that.
It's very simple. You just play it off like, oh, look, someone made some fake leak. Oh, and you ignore it. And then everyone else will ignore it. So at first you'd see someone pro it on, then you come out, it's like, nah, guys, this is all fake. Then people are like, whatever. And then you just keep on playing that card. I mean, once it comes out, people will be like, hey, wait a minute, but you would have just, ignored it. You want to shut people. People would have stopped trying to look for leaks or make leaks. Is that usually what happens when a leak is proven false? People start ignoring it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna have to keep our eyes peeled on this, and you know, we'll keep following it. I haven't been pulled uh from the stream, so
I don't know.
like I said, I wasn't gonna
We've
do
both
any.
been calm about it.
Yeah, and I wasn't gonna do any plot leaks anyways, because I'm about that. I don't know the extent of what other people were putting on, but and to be honest with you, by the time I got to this, all of the fucking leaks were pulled down anyways.
Eh, I don't think
But
they needed a copyright strike so many people though. And that's what added to the fire.
yeah, man, I mean, the company themselves, that's, yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say about that. Like, I've only gotten a copyright strike once, and it was for an independent movie, and it was so fucking stupid. It was because I used the poster picture. The fucking
Okay,
poster company
was it
copyrighted
claim
it.
or a strike? Because there's a
No,
difference in full on strike.
it was a full on strike.
All
They
right, because
pulled the other one.
I got a lot of things claimed, and from my like streams I've done the past week, even though they're gone off the main fucking Twitch, I have a couple of Star Wars ones. Fucking 22 on one video just from a Galactic Conquest of the fucking Star Wars music. And I'm like, yep, this is why I stopped playing a lot of Star Wars content. But that's why I played Fallen Order on Twitch. And all those things are archived on Twitch because I don't want to fucking deal with the copyright claim on YouTube.
I just want to bring up a good point Trey Courtney did, because I've been hearing this a lot. He says, plus they call fans racist, sexist, and homophobic because reasons. Yeah, I've heard, because of the fact that there are scenes that deal with a lesbian storyline and things like that, and people have pointed that out. And look, I've gone through and watched those videos, not just even from Geeks and Gamers. Like, I have some strictly video gaming people I watch, and they have pointed out how, they just play the game typically just on the game, but it's so blatantly fucking obvious in the game, and the game's finished. I mean, these are leaks from a finished game. It's not like they're still in development. The game's just being waited to be released. So the game's fucking done. And yeah, there's a lot of shit in there where people are just like saying, like, wow, what does this have to do with the story? When you have something where the story is being detracted uh, by this nonsense, it is just ridiculous. So yeah, Trey, I agree with you. It's been crazy, but I'm gonna get to my next article here. The streaming wars. Why is this relevant? Because I'm waiting to do my big one with Mr. Pop Culture about AMC, but streaming wars. Uh, Streaming revenue is going up. The competition is going up, and this might mean some movie companies could be feeling the sting from it. We might see in this new year, in these upcoming years, some pretty big companies taking a hit, theaters taking a hit. Let's dive into this. I've got an article from Forbes, and this is about the streaming service and the war on TV. And I also have an interesting article here in a minute about AMC and NBC tag teaming on their decision to not carry Universal movies. But I'll
Uh,
get into that later.
I have a thing about AMC. I don't care if they go under.
No, no one does. They're such a shitty company.
There's
But
other movie theater companies that are better. The one up my road is way better than them, more affordable than them too.
no,
Like
no,
even
but I mean,
it's I'm
this,
saying they fucking we hate them because they rip us off.
yeah, this,
And we've been pissed off since they bought out our original favorite movie theater we used to go to.
yeah, this hits every movie theater, and I'll get into that article later. But let's talk about streaming services and how they're capitalizing. Television's being fucking demolished, but I'm gonna go into that. There's a battle inside your television. And it's not between major networks. Remember when ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox would compete against each other for the top spot? Uh, they'd debut new shows and primetime slots in hopes of dominating the ratings and rankings. Boy, times have changed. Network television is hanging on only by a string. Internet-based subscription video on demand, or SVOD, services have become the new norm. SVOD services are by no means brand new. In fact, you probably subscribe to one or more popular providers between Netflix, Hulu, HBO, now Amazon Prime, and Disney Plus. Consumers can pay monthly fees to access thousands of television shows and movies and more, and pay they do. Revenues for these services neared 20 billion in 2018. 20 billion dollars in 2018. Holy fuck. And virtually every platform gained subscribers revenue last year as well. It's not just consumers that are taking notice. Quality content has started dominating SVOD. Did you happen to catch this year's Emmy Awards show? Streaming services brought home some of the night's most prestigious awards. But this has become par from the course. What really stood out were the ad spots for the forthcoming streaming service. Which brings us to the elephant in the room. How Disney, Apple, and more are raising the stakes. In November 2019, Disney Plus was slated to launch. This would not provide additional options for television viewers, but it would raise the stakes in an already competitive industry. They're not only a major player entering an already competitive game, though. Apple, AT&T, and NBC Universal all have SVOD services in the works or completed. So what does that mean? It means an already fast-moving industry is about to be even more cutthroat. But how did we get here? Way back in 2015, when SVOD was still a novel concept, a company called Sling TV debuted its first skinny bundle like Netflix, Hulu, Sling TV was a streaming service, but it also contained paid television multi-channel component, not unlike cable or satellite. Where it differed from its parent company, Dish, however, was that Sling offered skinny bundles of live TV channels with few caveats. Unlike cable, the bundle contained fewer channels. However, Sling TV did boast a few key selling points: customization, convenience, and price. Its skinny bundle enabled customers to modify their base packages with add-on options. It would only allow them to stream on various devices, and it did so at a rate that was generally more affordable than cable packages. Where does that bring us today? I argued that we move past convenience and customization. On the one hand, viewers basically expect their favorite content to be on demand across all devices, although some companies still offer serialized contents. We're looking at you, Sunday night HBO series. Very true. Other release entire seasons at once. Admit it, you've binge watched at least one Netflix series. I just did like 5 during the quarantine. I'm just now finishing BoJack Horseman, which I'll have that review. That show is fucking amazing. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. That is like that. Anyways, that's for another day. I'm also comfortable in making the claim viewers are used to recommended or suggested content tailored around their preferences and watching habits. Using Netflix as an example, the company offers personalized recommendations that help the users discover relative content. To call perpetuity algorithm complex is an understatement, as Netflix splits its viewers in more than 2,000 taste groups. The algorithm is effective too. More than 80% of the shows people watch on the service are discovered through this system. How will companies excel in the future, and what will streaming services offer apartments competitors. Price and choice may be the two most important factors immediate in the future, with the price being the most obvious angle. In 2019, Netflix unveiled its biggest price hike in the company history as the monthly fee jumped 18% from $10.99 to $12.99 per month, which I noticed that shit. I was pissed. My bill went up. I was like, what the fuck? While this increase is significant, the current Netflix pricing is still in the ballpark of several other competitors. Hulu runs monthly subscriptions of $11.99 and HBO Now is $14.99 per month. Where things get interesting is Disney Plus debuted at 7 per month, which is half the price of HBO Now and Netflix. From the sound of things, this is your ordinary bait and switch package that requires immediate upgrade. In addition to the library of content, the price includes simultaneous streaming, 4K, all that other bullshit. But the price alone isn't enough. Netflix devotees to make a full switch. For now, I'd argue the saving a few bucks might be quite enough to convince everyone. So, what will content selection maybe the silver bullet? Yeah, the rest of this is just about content and shit like that. But, anyways, yeah. So, let me ask you. Having Disney out now and everything else, there's so many choices. And here's the thing. I find myself pulled in different directions. I got Disney Plus because, Clone Wars. But I mean, Disney, they don't have anything really new. They release new shows at a very slow pace. But they have all their old stuff. They have kids content. You have HBO that has all the HBO stuff. You have Hulu. You have Netflix with all these other choices, and now video on demand showing actual movies from movie theaters. Uh, this is a big blow to the movie industry. Uh, Let me ask you: would you prefer to watch something at home? Like, say you had a choice to watch a brand new movie, right? You could go to a theater and you still have to pay all the same shit you would, $10 or whatever it is to get in, then popcorn or whatever else. Or would you rather be able to see the same movie at home, get the shit you want to get, play it on your 4K, with surround sound? I mean, which one would you rather do?
Let's see here. Well, for somebody who would probably just go to the theater, like with myself or my friends or something, I'd probably want to go to the theater. But when I think about it, what the streaming platforms are really going to take and probably are going to defeat the movie theaters would be the appeal towards family with very young kids that they don't want to bring out to the theater and have to watch them because they can just plop them right in the living room and they're there and they don't have to worry about their kid doing much because they're right there in the home.
Yeah, I mean, you have two sides of this. I think with the coronavirus, you will see a spike in people going out because we've been all trapped inside for so long. So I think the business model of releasing these movies at home, it's going to work for as long as people are in. But once you have it where people can go out and congregate, even if it's in small groups, and you got these new movies releasing, you're definitely going to see probably a massive spike in even the most shittiest movie we have not seen in a while because of the fact everyone's been cooped in. But after that all dies down, we're back to that same age-old argument. Before this, the theaters were losing money. I mean, our profits just for my theater, our profits dropped significantly in the past 2 to 3 years. I mean, you just don't have the same crowd. You don't have the same kind of people, the same things being offered, and the theaters aren't changing.
No, like I'll give an example. Remember that one AMC I told you used to be something else? Well,
Yep.
I did go there again. Actually, the last time, Yeah, the last time I was there is because they had a free movie. It was I already saw it once in the theater that the theater I like, have been going to, but we went back to that one. It was for Black Panther because it was that Oscar weekend. It was free. It was free. If you knew about it, you told them about it. All right, it's free. You got in there. We went in there, free movie. I looked around, and I've always noticed when I've been in there is this the past couple times because I've been there like maybe 3-4 times since it changed itself to AMC. I've always noticed, oh yeah, they change the seats and stuff. They have that stupid piece of glass that's always in the way when you lean all the way back, so it cuts on the screen so you can't lean all the way back. I've always noticed that. But what I really noticed, because I just sat there and because I already watched Black Panther, I looked around. I looked at the walls. I looked at the speakers. I'm like, these don't look like they changed since mid 2000. Because the speakers looked exactly the same from mid 2000 compared to the theater I like. And the reason why we went to that one is because when that one went to AMC, another company bought that one, renovated, made it all nice. That one looks all updated with nicer speakers and everything, and you can tell they're nicer speakers. It's like, what, what the fuck? It's like, you gotta make sure, if you're doing this, sometimes you gotta keep things, up to date and not just for the comfort of your guests. Because before the recline seats, I was kind of fine with the other seats. My theater, before they had the recline seats, they had very, very, very cushy chairs, and they could rock back and forth a bit. And I was fine with those. I'm like, if it's a nice, comfortable seat, and it has a little bit of movement, that's fine. It didn't need to be the recline seats. But the thing that they do that needs to be done is like picture needs to be spot on. Speakers there. I notice a lot of times when I put a movie in a home streaming now, is that you can get 60 frames when you're watching it on your TV, a very high frame rate, but when you watch it in the theater, it's not a very high frame rate. So sometimes the quality looks like it holds up, but you don't see all the details like you would in a big screen. That's my little rant.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. And Mr. Perp Minded, what's up, man?
What up? What up? I'm a little
I
late.
know it's been a minute since we've all conjugated.
What up, everybody?
So yeah, we're talking about the streaming wars. I'm actually glad to have you. This is our resident streaming expert. I believe you like have every fucking streaming service imaginable, man,
I mean,
except for Apple.
you could say that I have it all in one package.
So I was diving into Forbes, right? They said in 2018 alone, and they haven't given new figures because you know how streaming services are stingy about their viewership, they're stingy about their numbers to like the end of the year. But they're saying in 2018 alone, they've done $20 billion, where the movie industry and theaters and shit are losing millions, and in some cases, upwards of a couple million. So,
Mm.
uh, my question to you, Perp, and I think you fall on the side of the theater is about to be extinct. Do you think that everyone being cooped in, we're going to see a big uptick? Or do you think streaming services are going to be all right? We're going to see more competition. We're going to see a blockbuster effect for theaters.
Um, I mean, it could go either way. I think if theaters keep doing some BS and stuff like that, and like AMC banning Universal
Yeah, don't
movies
go
and
into
stuff
that
like that,
yet.
that's
Don't
not a
go
good.
into that yet. I got like 4 articles on that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, just as an example, that's you know, but I think I think streaming it's gonna eventually take over. just because of convenience. But I think theaters are always going to be here. It's gonna be one of those things that kind of slowly dies out. Like it'll slowly phase out to the point where we don't even like realize it. But who knows? It can go
I
either
mean,
way.
that's what happened to Blockbuster. I mean, remember movie rentals? I remember when I was a kid going to Blockbuster, fucking rent a VHS
Hmm.
tape. And then what was it, like 2 years now, 2 or 3 years, Blockbuster just shut the doors, or at least the one up our way. I was like, damn, man, I have one video store left around here.
Mine's some other store in an original mattress factory, and it's been
Yeah,
that way
so
since it shut its doors.
and I
So, I
think
mean,
I think that's what like it's gonna happen with movie theaters once they're not able to make the money that they need financially. That's what I say. Like I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon because of like Marvel movies and these big blockbuster movies. Like that's the only thing that's kind of keeping theaters like afloat. Because if they start taking big movies out of theaters, then yeah, that's when you're gonna start seeing like things start to change. But it's definitely gonna get weird over the time.
and I just want to say, Rolliver Queen reviews, welcome. Haven't seen you in the chat for a bit. Good to see you, and thank you for commenting
Salute,
on the
salute.
Prophets of Geek Culture. He commented on my comic review for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Shattered Grid. So shout out for that.
So,
But
so,
yeah, this is this is a very interesting situation because there's two sides that this could go, and I feel like it's all going to fall on what the theaters do. And I'm going to get into some of those articles, and we're going to dive into them because we've got Mr. PB coming. So thankfully, I'll have the full panel to talk about this. But yeah, we're going to get into because AMC, you know, AMC has been losing fucking money as it is, and for them to pick a war with a fucking studio baffles my mind. Like, don't get me wrong, coming from the theater angle and working in the theater and knowing how the shit operates, knowing what the overhead is, knowing how these companies fuck us over, and make no mistake, the studios dick around theaters all the time. It's fucking frustrating. But there is a line you have to toe. And to take a studio completely out of your theater is the stupidest fucking move I think I have read in my whole entire fucking life. What's up, Mr. PB?
I will
uh, so
make all the mistakes and dick around forever.
Your ears must have been ringing because I was definitely talking about your late ass.
Yeah, I tried to hop in and it connected, but I didn't think that it connected. So then I went to go hit enter studio again, and I just so happened to click on the area of the screen where the leave studio button pops up. So then I kicked myself out right away again. And then there was some swearing involved, and then I had to re-click all the buttons, and now I'm here again. Thank you for having me.
shake the
Oh
button.
no, guys, it's been a while. Zod's been working in your human factories, and
We
I gotta
don't need to
say,
hear about what you're doing on your street corner.
Zod does not understand why he hasn't employed this work program for you humans. It is absolutely brilliant and cruel. But anyways, um, so let's get into AMC. If you guys haven't heard,
We can't get into
AMC.
AMC, guy. They locked all their fucking doors.
That is true.
Dude, have you ever heard of a brick? Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of them have glass doors. Just use a brick.
That's
Okay,
dangerous.
disclaimer. Fucking cybernetic husky. First your politics, and now you're talking about breaking into
Well,
places.
he's the only one here that doesn't have any fingerprints.
I know he's encouraging us to break into movies,
Man,
so
you're a
he can walk
villain. This
through.
should be normal for you.
Yeah, you're right. So, uh, let me just set up some context because this article I have is a recent article. But AMC. So AMC got a pissy. They got bitchy this week. Trolls World Tour, which my review will be coming up. It's a magical movie, but never mind about that. Um,
Doubtful.
hey, don't be hating. There will be no hating on JT ever in the fandom
Who?
zone.
Yes, I know. You have to stick up for your people.
My boy JT. Anyways,
I was talking about the trolls.
So
so AMC decided they are going to wage war when they are hemorrhaging money against Universal. Now, let's put this in perspective. Universal has done Jurassic Park. They just did that surprise hit, The Invisible Man, out of left field. I mean,
They did that.
Universal.
They did that hit Invisible Man back in what year is it? I don't know. Back in the 40s, 30 something.
I don't know. It feels like day 103 or day 300 of the Corona lockdown, but Universal was on a solid roll. Okay, they've been doing pretty decent, and so they decided they weren't going to wait. They were going to release Trolls, which was a smart move because families are trapped, and it was a massive hit on VOD. Uh, it did some crazy numbers from what they say. They don't give us actual numbers because no on demand does. Fucking pricks. But it was high, and it's trending as number one on mine too. So they have decided that they are going to do simultaneous releases, at least for a couple of things. Now, they said a couple of their movies. They didn't specify what movies they want to do it with and stuff like that, but they were thinking they want to release it on VOD and in the theater. Get that cash. And let me ask you guys before I continue, who thinks that's a stupid idea?
very stupid.
Do you?
I do.
I mean, do you think that it's stupid to get an extra source of income off of video on demand,
I mean,
especially on a movie that may not make much money?
If we get this straight to DVD releases again, all right, man. I feel like a kid again.
like, I don't know if it's going to be extra money because if you don't go out in a theater, you don't have that extra money if you've just went straight to DVD.
Yeah, but think about it. The company, they only get the box office. They're not getting concessions or anything like that. They're just getting a percentage of ticket sales. And that's after the first 2 weeks.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that this whole thing is over the contract dispute, anyways. Because that's what, when me and Perp were talking about it on his random live stream, after
Record break.
I don't know, we were talking about it for like 20 minutes or something like that. And I was sitting there thinking about it for a while. And I was like, this reminds me of all of the contract disputes that individual channels will have with the cable providers. And they're like, hey, we're taking you down off of our Dish Network or DirecTV or Time Warner Cable or whatever your service is, we're taking that channel down because we're not getting the right price. So maybe AMC thought that they were getting shafted on the deal and they were paying too much to have these Universal movies. Or maybe Universal thought they weren't getting as much because of the sweet deals like Disney was getting when they would say, hey, you have to take our number one movie and put it on 50% of your screens for an entire month.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, you can't have the movie at all. Like, that's
that
in the
bullshit.
contract.
Yeah, and that bullshit hurts theaters like our Marcus because we got large ones like the Majestic and things like that that has several screens. So, they can show all of the movies simultaneously. But when you have a smaller theater like mine, where we only have a few screens, now we got to play the fucking picking and choosing game. We can't even get some of the movies because we don't have the fucking screens because Disney's fucking punk ass is taking all of the like 5 screens. We had fucking Lion King when it came out in like fucking 5 screens. And like, you got 3 or 4 screens left for actual other movies for people to see. It's ridiculous.
Right. So think of, I mean, if you're talking about the individual theater, they're like, we can't handle putting one movie on half of the screens because once everybody's seen it, we're missing the revenue of people coming to the theater to see the different movies because we only have all of them on one screen instead of just being able to put the other 5 to 10 movies on 2 screens. Like being able to double all of those other movies up and being able to cut back on one screen, like let's say per hallway or something like that, depending on how big your theater is, on the big budget one, especially when you're in week 3 and week 4, like that makes a huge difference as far as concession sales and bringing people to your physical structure, because you're never going to make more concession sales when everything goes out on demand right away. I mean, if that's the case, if you want to invest in Frito-Lay company after all these streaming services take off, that's a good bet because people will be buying chips through the wazoo if they're just going to be sitting at home.
Yeah, beer stocks will go up too. Just don't buy Corona, but every other beer's safe.
Exactly.
But I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things, and look, I can see both sides of the argument because from AMC's perspective, yeah, that it takes away if they give more opportunities to streaming. That takes away from concessions, and it's the only thing that theaters survive on. We make like 90% of our profits off of what we sell to the people because ticket sales don't mean dick after the first 2 weeks. So the rest of
No,
it's
that's
being
like
kicked up to the company.
I mean, they got the same issue as your local gas station. The gas station is not making money hand over fist off of the gas that they're selling you. Even when it used to be, before, the Trumpinator showed up, $3 a gallon, they still weren't making it hand over fist. They make money off of selling you everything that's inside the store. They want you to come inside the store. They would much rather prefer that you don't pay at the pump so that you come in and you buy that 2 bottles for $3 of a 20-ounce soda because they're making decent money off of that. Don't cost them much to get soda, but they make a much wider profit margin on that than they do on selling you 10 to 20 gallons of gasoline.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I'm gonna read this article from Deadline, where Universal has a response.
Yay.
Universal has their response to AMC Studio believes in Theatrical, but expects to release movies directly
Did you
to
just say
theaters.
theatrical?
Yeah, I swear to God, that's what it says.
I don't believe you. Can you
Theatrical.
bring this up, Cyber?
Yeah, which article is it?
It's in the beginning. It's the very first one in the string of 4 articles about this.
Okay,
You're funny.
Everything fucking jumped. I hate it when that shit happens.
Oh,
So this one that says
fucking
Universal
Twitter.
right here.
Yeah.
Right, it's in the.
Rolliver, I never ever lie.
No, it
I
says
do embellish
it
from
says
time to
theatrical.
time.
And the headline it says theatrical.
Theatrical.
this might hurt Rob. This might hurt Rose's feelings that Fast 9. He might never get to see Fast 9 in theaters. It might be straight to
Oh,
VR.
There is
like
no
then I
okay.
need to find
Before we
whoever has the
continue,
best frickin' surround sound and go watch it at their house, because you gotta have some rumble in your seat for watching that movie.
I am just gonna call it right now. There is no fucking way that movie does not come out in theaters. I'm sorry. That movie makes too much fucking money. There's no way they just released that straight. You're gonna see that in theaters. I'm calling that right now. That's like one of their biggest fucking franchises. That thing's like
It's
the
definitely.
Energizer Bunny.
I mean, if this whole band if this whole band continues, they're not going to make that $1 billion and shit that they want. So
I mean, even Hobbs and Shaw had a small return, but they still fucking that thing was in theaters forever. I'm telling you, there's no way that they're gonna not bring that. I heard that, but I don't think that's gonna be a title. Maybe
Uh,
Jurassic Park because the last one did, but
these
but
winter
Fast.
releases
but
that
I was saying
everyone's
like
going to
AMC,
do is going to
AMC,
cause them to suffer. Like everyone who's decided to do
AM,
all that, like throw
AMC,
everything in November, December.
AMC is like the big huge chunk of that money that they can be making, and I don't know how that's going to do overseas and all that. Like me, PV, we was talking about this, so it's like that could very much affect that box office. Like it might kind of like get half of what it's supposed to make, and shit. Like it might only get like
Yeah, it's
500 million, something
huge.
like that.
Fast and Furious makes a lot overseas. I'm pretty sure a good. I'm pretty sure
But
a decent amount.
how much of it that is like how much of
I'd
that
You're
have
is
to
in
go
right.
on
AMC
box
It
theaters
office
though?
mojo.
probably
How much?
Like,
makes more overseas than Star Wars, but I doubt if it makes as much as Marvel.
oh no, nothing makes that. Well, that's apples and
I'm just talking
oranges.
percentages, not the actual total number.
Yeah. I could get. Yeah, the percentages are probably about. Yeah, I could agree with that. But Universal response to AMC Studios believes theatrical. mm, uh, but expects to release movies directly to theaters and PVOD when outlet makes sense. Universal responds to AMC boss Adam Aron's note tonight. The Universal Studios chairman, Donna Langley, in which he told the studio that the chain won't be playing. Yes.
Oh, that was my wife laughing.
Oh.
She just showed me a meme on Facebook that showed Doc Brown saying, Marty, whatever you do, don't ever go to 2020.
That was good. The studio chain won't be playing their titles at their global venues. Essentially, Uni says they absolutely believe the theatrical experience. I'm sorry, theatrical experience. Whatever. Had made no
Continue.
statement to the contrary, but added Universal, as we stated earlier, going forward, we expect to release future films directly to theaters as well as on PVOD when that distribution outlet makes sense. A response that the major isn't veering from Shell's plan to break Hollywood distribution practices. Universal ended their note expressing their disappointed by the seemingly coordinated attempt from AMC and NATO to confuse our position and our actions. You can read the rest of Uni's statement below. Aaron took umbrage with NBC Universal's CEO Jeff Shell's statement in the Wall Street Journal this morning, in which he told the paper the result of Trolls World Tour have exceeded our expectations and demonstrated the viability of POVD As soon as theaters reopen, we expect to release movies in both formats, some in distribution and expedition. Think that Aaron may have overreacted here to Shell's statements. Perhaps the expeditious boss misconstrued them or took them out of context. After all, actions speak more than words. Universal, as a believer in theatrical, did push F9 to next year, and yet they're talking they're taking a more TV centric title like The King of Staten Island, starring SNL's Pete Davidson, into homes instead of theaters. Well, you know what? I don't give a shit about that title. I've never even fucking heard of that until now. However, Shell is known as a long-standing champion of squeezing the theatrical window and getting movies into homes sooner. He's a cable guy who came to Universal's film division from Comcast in 2015. The thought by AMC and Expedition was that Trolls World Tour was a one-off exception at the time when they were all shut down, but they're now threatened by windows collapsing since COVID 19 restrictions lift, and that will hurt that side of the business. Already, moviegoer surveys, such as the one published at Deadline by Edward Norton's EDO, have indicated that there'll be a slow return to the cinemas post COVID. Why do theaters need competition from studios in releasing movies? I disagree. I think that the numbers are going to be a lot larger than people think because everyone wants to get the fuck out of the house.
No, man,
But
it's too hot outside.
finally, is what I'd say.
It's gonna be
AMC,
like 70 degrees out tomorrow. I'm gonna be sweating my ass off. It's gonna be terrible.
I'm gonna be wearing my wife beater and cowboy hat. It's gonna be great. AMC, like other exhibitors, remains in true precarious situation, with many analysts believing the chain will go into bankruptcy. I believe that. That is yet to happen, but we know, and they're renegotiating leases with landlords like any theater owner is doing now. Can AMC really afford to refuse to play a big studio slate? No. Especially at a time where they're starving for product. Universal has such movies: F9, Minions: The Rise of Gru, and Jurassic World: Dominion, all scheduled for 2021, by the way. By firing off a note to Universal tonight, AMC, as the expedition leader, is drawing a line in the sand. Who is going to line up behind them? We've heard that behind the scenes, Cineworld is irate with them. Cinemark is referring all press to NATO in regards to AMC Universal's Troll World Tour fight. The trade org expressing twice their frustration with the studio today over NBC Uni's victory lap on DreamWorks animation sequel 95 million revenues. Some are perplexed by why Aaron addressed his note to Langley instead of Shell. Unfortunately, Exposition being closed doesn't really have the upper hand right now. They're trying to get stimulus packages to cover their overhead. They can't open in states like Georgia and Texas reopen because there's no product coming from the studios until arguably late July, when Warner Bros., Tenet, and Disney's Mulan. On top of that, movie theaters have to contend with safety restrictions, capacity limits when they return, and the hope that people will show up. Still, these expositors are mad at Universal when it comes to releasing Trolls World Tours into homes. Why not be ticked off at Warner Bros. With Scooby? or Disney with the Artemis Fowl? Well, let me tell you why. Artemis Fowl looks like the biggest piece of shit ever. Scooby, I was looking forward to. I saw the trailer. Looked cute. Both of those titles switched distribution course and opt to skip theaters for a home release. Sources tell me Uni had bad timing.
Are these
when it
raccoon sources, or is this in the article you're reading?
Oh no, these are actual sources.
Oh,
Sources tell me Uni had bad timing when it comes to this abrupt decision to put Trolls World Tours into homes, just as the exhibition was on their knees and forced to shutter around the globe out of safety for COVID. Uni went ahead and decided on a PVOD plan for Trolls World Tour. And I call bullshit on this because there were other movies released the same way. So it's not just Universal. Other people did the same thing. Our goal in releasing Trolls World Tour was to deliver entertainment to people who were shuddering in their homes. While movie theaters and other forms outside entertainment are unavailable based on the enthusiastic response to the film, we believe we made the right move. In fact, given the choice of releasing Trolls World Tour, which was not only have prevented customers from experiencing the movie, but also negatively impact our partners and employees, the decision was clear. Our desire has always been to efficiently deliver entertainment to a wide audience as possible. We absolutely believe in the theatrical experience and have made no statement on the contrary. We stated earlier, going forward, we expect to release future films directly to theaters as well as POVD. We look forward to having additional private conversations with our exhibition I'm sorry, it's a little late. Exhibition part.
did he die?
What happened?
Sounds like he died.
Attempt from AMC and NATO to that the org are in cahoots with theater chains over the note. NATO said without any knowledge of or common courtesy to inquire about those facts, Universal nevertheless made a reckless charge this evening that the company is disappointed by seemingly coordinating an attempt from AMC and NATO to confuse our position. Unfortunately, Universal has a destructive tendency of both announce decisions affecting our exhibitor partners without actually consulting those partners, and now of making unfounded accusations consulting with their partners. So this is a big nasty fight. I don't know. I think that this is like a tiff between two places. Look, AMC is not the person to lead this charge, and they've got a lot of subsidiaries and people that they, other branches, and their business partners aren't happy with them making this letter. So, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think about this squabbling back and forth?
Childish.
I didn't realize that a multi-million-dollar corporation to steal LB's line because, he's family, so I can. They're going to act like YouTubers.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really petty argument. And I mean, let's be real. If it was a big blockbuster, I could understand. But I mean, this is a movie that you had a 50-50 shot whether or not it was going to be a success anyways. If you released it in its slated date with the movies that were around it, it could have probably did some decent money, but I mean, maybe it did do better on streaming. We won't get those numbers. So
what do you mean by do better on streaming?
It's like the theory of you know how you get some movies, right? They get released in theaters. They don't do that well, but they do great in DVD sales, or they get a following, and they build hype
Okay.
later. So, I mean,
Okay.
you know what I mean? It's like the theory of releasing something. Like, for instance, okay, there's a movie, Boondock Saints, right? In the theaters,
Yes.
didn't do that well. It got panned horribly by the critics. Came out on DVD, amassed a following, did ridiculous DVD sales, and they got a sequel, which went to movies and did fairly well. So, I mean,
So what you're so you're the point you're trying to make is, are they better off saving the money on marketing something that's going to be in the theaters and just market it to be either video on demand or straight to Blu-ray?
exactly, because you save your marketing costs, right? Because when we do averages for the movies and what they're going to make, right, with the budget, you include marketing in that budget. Now, if you have a smaller marketing or you have a cheaper marketing, which you can get on demand, right, you could do those 5-second promos that they do, like coming on demand, blah, 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 and they give you clips or whatever. You save a shit ton on marketing, so you're cutting the cost down right there. And on an animation, I mean, if you take animation versus live action, animation is cheaper to make than live action.
Some of it.
I mean, yeah, it depends on what the movie is and stuff like that. But I gotta imagine that on the whole, if you took anything that was ever made animated and put it up against something made live action, you're cutting down cast, crew, shooting, location, uh, you have to pay the voice actors for a couple of hours of work.
You have to pay
No,
people
right, as
for
long as you're
facial
not
tracking and
getting,
fucking animation.
yeah, and
You
as long as
still
Yeah,
you're
have
but
to
not
pay
getting
stunt
like
doubles.
well-known actors for voice actors, like typically you don't need that if you're doing something that's animated. You don't need to get Robert Downey Jr. or Samuel L. Jackson to be doing voices for your characters. You just need to get somebody that fits your character in the movie.
I mean, you get well-known voice actors in most animated movies, but fucking mainstream
Oh,
doesn't
right.
know
Yeah,
about
you
the
can get
well-known voice
well-known
actors.
voice actors. Right. Yeah, totally do that, because there are definitely people out there that are great at doing that, and they've done all kinds of characters like oh, what's the guy's name? Sean Schemmel or Chris Schemmel, or what the hell is it?
I think it's Chris Schimmel.
Sean Schimmel. Sean Schimmel.
Yeah,
Sean
Chris
like
Schimmel?
Sabat is the one that.
Chris Sabat.
Chris
Okay.
Sabat's the one that. Chris Sabat's the one that voices Vegeta. Sean Schimmel's the one that voices Goku.
Okay, yeah, and I mean they've done a lot more characters than just those two. Like those are just the two big names that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure other people that have watched plenty of anime could think of other characters that they have done.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's, I mean, but I mean, there. I mean, there is a lot of money to be made and a lot of money to be saved by doing it this way. And look, and look, Artemis Fowl. I'm just gonna say Artemis Fowl was probably going to lose money in the theaters
What the fuck is
because
Artemis Fowl?
it's based on a very famous book. It's
What?
like a Harry Potter kind of
Oh,
thing.
it's based on a book. That's why I don't know what it is. The only famous book I know is the Bible.
I mean, think of it. It's got a following like Harry Potter, maybe slightly less, but I know a lot of
So
people
is
have
it
read
supposed
them.
to be like a fantasy style book or sci-fi or something like that?
Yeah, I'd say sci-fi tech kind of stuff, a little bit of mysticism, that kind of thing.
Okay.
I didn't. I read a couple of them. It wasn't really my thing, but I know a lot of people know them and they like them. But seeing the trailers, a lot of people were turned off by it. So I think the best thing they did for that movie is release it straight to streaming, because I mean, and movies like that, I think the company would take a hit on. I think it would be stupid for them to just do it PVOD for like things that need to be shot. I think those should have a theater release, but I don't see the problem with them doing it both. I think it gives more options, and I think it does actually make both money. It makes money both ways. If you get a good theater turnout, you're going to make money. If people like the movie and they're like, you know what, I want to rent it and show other people. Maybe you can't get to the theater. So, you go home, you invite a bunch of people, you rent it and be like, yo, I saw this. Maybe you get people to go in because they watch it at home and they're like, you know what, I want to fucking see this in the theater. I mean, we don't know how this could correlate. It's a brand new thing.
We never really see like, oh, this is coming back to theater releases. I mean, you do, but it's usually hosted by the theater themselves, and it's like, hey, we're going to do this like fun watch this movie. We got this. You can watch it again. You don't like get it from the studio saying, hey, watch this again in theaters. Hey, you barely get that.
Rolliver, with The Gentleman, it did do a decent amount of money, because he said The Gentleman is probably doing much better on demand. No, you didn't hear much about it because it's an R-rated movie, but I checked the numbers. It did do very well. Guy Ritchie had a very small budget. I think it was like a small 100 mil, 150 mil. It was a small budget, and he made a killing with that movie. So I know in our theater that movie got major traction. It was in theaters for a long time after its release. So I think that it went well. But yeah, small movies like that don't get any hype. I remember this movie Bad Times in the El Royale, and it was an amazing movie. It had a great cast, and it got released at a poor time and got buried underneath all these other movies. And when it came to DVD and on demand, it did fucking tremendous. Because I mean, you had Chris Hemsworth in it, you had Jeff Bridges. I mean, there was a great cast in there, and it was just poor timing. And I think movies like that would do well. And you know what? They've been doing this, like independent films, like the IFC films and things that get limited releases. They do that too. They release simultaneously while still in theater. They've been doing it before big blockbuster movies did it. And that's how hype gets out about a movie. I believe Human Centipede did that.
I
That movie
thought
was too
hype
great.
gets out about a movie because I saw the previous one and I have to figure out how all the Avengers get brought back to life.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, I think that you know, I think Universal is tapping into another revenue, and you know what? If AMC isn't going to play them, they're going to, because I know no one else is really getting behind them. I know Marcus is like, fuck that, we need movies.
Well,
I
it'll
don't
be
know about that.
interesting with all the connections that Universal has if they start to reach out to the individual channels that are out there instead of just streaming and be like, hey, we'll sell you the rights to this movie to play on your channel for a month, and you can be the first person to ever have it.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Theater, production companies and major production studios do that with theaters. I mean, they might even cut the cost because the theaters are actually charging them more to put it in the theater. So if they could be like, hey, we'll give it to, some kind of channel or something, and, they're only asking for this much, whereas we have to pay this much to a theater. Yeah, that would, I mean, that'd be beneficial for maybe smaller people than the larger theater chains. But I mean, just look at sales in general. Look at the crowds. I mean, it's been a while since I seen a Friday or Saturday night before the coronavirus where you even had a large group of people going to see movies.
Well, I mean, I don't remember if you read off the name or what the hell the name was of the freaking guy, but whoever the head person is at Universal, imagine them going to Atlanta and going up to Ted's office and being like, "Hey, we'll cut you a deal for these 2, 3 movies, and you can play them on all of your networks." Like, I don't know how many channels Turner has, but I know they got at least 2 big ones, being TNT and TBS. Like, I know they were putting commercials out all the time for like a month and a half about how they were the first people in the entire world that were going to have the broadcast premiere of The Last Jedi. So I had on Star Wars because they were doing their Star Wars marathon, and I was like, okay, we're gonna be home at about 7 o'clock that night, and that movie's supposed to start at 8, so I won't be torturing my dogs with it. Thank God.
And I mean, they also have, if I'm not mistaken, AMC as well, because it used to be Turner Classic Movies, and then it changed it to AMC, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, because like what Walking Dead is on and all that. Yeah, that's their network too. That's Turner owns that.
Okay, so they got a movie network built into his empire that he can be putting movies on.
Yeah, because I know
Like,
they
I
even
know
show some
all of these
movies.
channels have an on-demand option at the same time.
And if you look at their channel too, they have where they have movies. If you go like on demand, they do have a section within there where you can watch the regular television shows like The Walking Dead, Into the Badlands, all that, and then they have a section where they have movies. I believe they show some on Saturday too. It's like they'll show an uncut movie or limited commercial movies and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, they can go to any of these companies and be like, "Hey, and do you know how big of a fucking win? Just imagine how big of a win it would be for regular television, which is struggling as it is, for a movie company to go, hey, you guys are hurting. We can give you a deal. We can give you movies on your channel,
I mean,
marquee movies."
everybody came to the realization, or whatever you want to call it. They had their eyes opened up about how streaming is the future. That's what everybody was told. But at that same time, streaming is just watching whatever is live on whatever network, whether that network is the History Channel, TNT, or YouTube, and you're picking a channel on YouTube. Like, whatever you're streaming is what you're streaming. And to that end, what was it? Fox paid WWE $500 million to have SmackDown for 5 years on Friday nights because it's a live program that they can stream on their network. That's how they sold it, and that was the reason they wanted to buy it, because they wanted live programming, because that's what everybody wants. They want live stuff. Like, we're talking to everybody who's listening right now live, and then anybody who didn't catch it because they were busy at the moment can watch the video on demand at any point because it's stored on the internet in some fucking cloud somewhere.
And welcome, Nico Blue. Good to see you. Yes, let's kneel before Zod. And Rolliver Queen had
No
a good
kneeling.
question. Rolliver had a good question. He said, "What about piracy?" I'm gonna dispel this
Can never
myth
stop.
because
Ooh,
You can never stop
the
piracy.
piracy is going to be spectacular. All of that pirated stuff is going to be so clean.
yeah,
Yeah,
but let
man.
me just
That's what I'm saying.
dispel since bootleg VHS, piracy has not cut into profits like the theaters would have you believe. Okay, I worked on the inside. We account for that. They account for that shit in the budget of the movie. That's a fact. Piracy, they want you to believe that people pirating, oh, it's taken away from our movie. You're missing the experience. It's bullshit. It's
Yep.
bullshit.
Piracy's at an
It kind
all-time
of helps.
high, which is why Endgame became the biggest movie ever.
Yeah.
Do the math, people.
You don't need to pirate the whole goddamn movie either. Like some people like, oh, you go to this site to get the whole thing. No, man, you just find all the clips on YouTube, sew them together, and figure out what you got.
I
That's
know with
kind of
this
what
shit
I
on
did with
YouTube, we could all be called pirates. You're right, Husky. If you just go in and get
fucking.
clips.
Because fucking, that's kind of how I
Eh,
saw parts of the Captain Marvel. That's why I never say, "Oh, I saw Starfish." No, I saw the things of it. I didn't like it. I stopped watching them.
And piracy can kind of help also. You know, like because some people could be iffy about watching something, and then they watch it on whatever piracy website and stuff, and they're like, oh, I feel like owning this. Go buy this.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of movies like little independent
Absolutely.
films.
Nobody ever considers that if you've pirated something, that could be the catalyst to get you to buy it because you were apprehensive. You didn't know if you wanted to support this product, so you decided to pirate it. And, lo and behold, it ended up being good, great, epic, whatever it took for you to want to buy it. So now you're going to go and spend your hard earned money to support that product because you see how good of a quality it is now. But nobody
Yeah,
would ever say that, oh, well, if you pirate it, you're definitely never going to pay for it. Well, that's bullcrap. Like if you pirate stuff and you have cable, you're paying for every movie they've ever shown, like you paid for it. You're paying for cable, you're paying for movies.
and let's think
Or if they're
about
paying it.
if you pirate something, right? We all got our internet sites, maybe disclaimer that we go to if we don't want to watch the
YouTube.
movie, right? The PB's big into Russia. I prefer to be able to get the English translations, but we all got our sites. But if you watch it, that doesn't exclusively mean you're not going to see it and go, you know what? Small screen kind of sucks. I'm going to go out to the theater now and watch it on the big screen to get the full experience. I mean, there is nothing even financially that proves that piracy in any way, shape, or form directly affected the box office. Nothing. Anyone who could bring me that data, then I will retract that statement. But I'm just going to say these companies are full of shit. They've never given us numbers. They've never given us any statistics. They've never shown us where they've taken losses because it doesn't fucking exist.
Yeah, there's no way to account for those numbers on any side without literally creating a list of people that admit to a crime.
Yeah, yeah, who's going to do that census?
Like, hey, we called up your number. The government's not listening. Did you pirate this movie?
You might catch one or two dumbasses who are like, yeah, man, go to JD's pirate website. Man, we got the hottest bootlegs. No one does that. Even the people on the corner scattered when the police came.
No shit.
Bro, you can find illegal movies from Pornhub, like where the internet exists.
If every site is a pirate site, that's why I said YouTube. Every site where you can upload video is considered a pirate site because you can just upload clips and clips and clips, and all it takes is for one person to take all these clips, kind of organize them to what's very close to start to finish.
Oh yeah, and
Oh
there
yeah,
are videos
like
that do that.
yeah, all you gotta do find the clips, and then you just gotta find yourself the synopsis of the plot or whatever, or somebody who's gone through the movie the story outline or something like that, and you're like, oh well, it went this clip, this clip, this clip, and now boom, here's the movie, and oh god, this is bad.
So yeah, I mean, since the beginning, I've never bought into that bullshit. I've never even seen the physical evidence, and then working in the theater, I've never had a meeting where we've gone in and go, yeah, boys, we're gonna have to shut her down. These fucking pirates, man.
No,
These
you
pirates
gotta break
are.
it down to the personal level. It's never come about where somebody's walked into the office and they've said, "Hey, Fred, the cameraman, come over here. I need to talk to you. Uh, we're gonna have to let you go because we had a 5% increase on piracy on Universal Films, and we can't afford that 12th cameraman anymore. So you're gonna have to pack up your cubicle and get your stuff out of here. Sorry, but spread the word that piracy is not a victimless crime. That's never fucking happened."
No, it's never. You've never heard of someone. You've never heard of people being fired over it. I mean, you've never heard of studios coming out and going, you know what? Do you guys know why The Notebook didn't make a bunch of money?
No.
You know why Ryan Gosling's Treasure wasn't being
Don't
felt by
talk
all
about
those
the
ladies?
Notebook here. You don't use that as the example. The example is, do you know why Solo failed? It's because all of us pirated it. Everybody has seen the movie,
Nope.
except for the fact that I've never seen it, Cyber's never seen it, and my cousin LB just seen it for the first time, earlier last week?
Yep.
Hilarious.
Or earlier this week?
Oh, that was hilarious. That was a good way to watch that movie. I
Speaking
never
of
thought I'd get
LB,
to
speaking of LB, real quick, shout outs to LB for crossing over 8K and having almost
Hell
I know.
yeah.
he had almost 600 people in the stream last night. That shit was crazy.
I'm
I
waiting for
wish we
his
had some
Lonely
other
with
mods in
Friends to
there.
be back.
I'm sorry, man. Like, he didn't
Yeah.
send me a message. You didn't send me a message while you were actively like, I can't handle this. He didn't put it on slow mode.
No, it was on slow
Really
mo.
cool.
That's what's crazy thing about it. It was on slow mo.
This
Oh.
is hilarious. I just got to
But what
point
is-
this out. Oliver brought up
But
a
what did
really
he have
funny
it
thing.
set to? Go ahead.
Like
Uh,
he slowed it down like a minute. That shit still was going crazy.
Oh god,
So
that's terrible. I read it. Okay,
yeah,
read it out loud.
Reliver said, I stopped watching cam versions when I heard someone humming the Universal theme. Could you I wish every Universal movie started that. Could you imagine going in to watch the new Jurassic Park movie, right? You got the
Dude,
big
awesome.
whatever
Dude,
sound comes on and
that
some
is
guy
some
just
of the best parts of the cam versions of movies, is that you get those light crowd reactions or the massive crowd reactions at the end or something like that, where they're like, holy fuck, I didn't see that shit coming. Like that, I love that kind of shit. I mean, some are bad because people be standing up and like blocking my view, but like Russians apparently are tall.
Oh yeah, yeah. Even the women. But the what up, Gary North? Good morning to you. But yeah, I mean, could you just picture you go to watch a movie and you hear I would fucking die. Dude, I would just die. I'd have to watch the rest just to see what else was improv.
Like, how
Like,
close was he recording that to his face that he got the hum? Because usually people that get the cam version, like they're setting the camera up like the seat next to them or like the seat in front of them or something like that. They don't have it set up right next to their face. Like, was he wearing the camera as a lapel pin?
No, he was probably wearing it on his head like a GoPro.
Or was he, he's doing a GoPro, or did he have some fancy like Google glasses and he's just recording from his optical lenses?
Wait, Google Glass still exists?
oh man,
Could probably still
so, man, that shit is hilarious. But yeah, in summary, AMC is fucking stupid, and I'm pretty sure they're the first company we're gonna see die in these
Or be
dark
bought out
days.
by Universal.
Oh god, that would be the fucking irony. That would be fucking hilarious. You hear Universal has their own theater like Disney. It's like AMC
I always thought
Universal.
about that, like, I always thought about that. Like, what if Disney just made their own like little theater chains and stuff? Like, you know,
There-
that like they start exclusively like in their parks.
They
or something like
did.
that,
It's
where-
exclusively on an app.
No, I'm saying like actually just making like an actual like theater where you could be like, all right, or just see some old stuff mixed with some new, or
So
it's one
would
night
they
or it's
play
one
So
any
night.
movies from
a
any
movie
other
theater
company?
with the Disney experience, right? And it has all the Imagineers have shit going in there, so they're like shit, like fucking animatronics in the doorway or something like that.
That'd be cool.
That'd
Like
be
imagine
interesting.
like imagine going one weekend and like all like say they have like 8 theaters and like you get this there's like 8 different Marvel.
No, so what you're saying
Marvel
is
movies
like
that you go see.
Hard Rock Cafe, but it's a Disney theater.
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, I like that idea. I like that idea a lot.
Because they could put their new stuff in there, and then like if you want to go see like an older movie, like hey, you want to go see Mighty Ducks for $5 or something like that, boom, boom, boom.
Shit, man, I'd do that.
And they would be able to sell like licensed products in there, so they wouldn't have to exclusively rely on just concessions to support their staff.
Yeah,
Mhm.
$50
And they could,
you
like I
get
said,
your
they
face
could-
on this tea with Mickey Mouse, guys.
And like I said,
I
like,
just
you
want
could,
the
like, they
cutout.
could
I want to be
recycle,
Mickey
like,
Mouse.
they can recycle any other movies and stuff like weekly, so they could like change stuff out all the time.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
oh,
they
Marvel,
could
this is
recycle
Marvel,
stuff
this is
when it's
MCU
like
weekend.
big anniversaries of movies. They can bring them out like 20 years or something, or like when this freaking are we done talking about this subject so I can transition?
No, go ahead.
No. Disney, hire us. We got some ideas right here. Come on.
Okay, so when this new Space Jam comes out, they could play both of them at the same time.
I was just gonna talk about. Oh god. Oh, I don't want this to happen.
Does anyone want it to happen?
Why are we replacing
What?
MJ with LeBron? I mean, I'm
Yeah,
rocking
There's
his shoes
only
right now,
one
but
person that could replace Michael Jordan, and that's Michael Jordan.
Kobe Bryant.
I mean, if Kobe
We should,
if Kobe would have gotten as many rings, like if he would have gotten that second three-peat, we would be able to have that conversation, but he didn't, and he had just as much help as Michael Jordan did.
But Kobe still should have gotten a Space Jam 2. And then, like, if they wanted to do a Space Jam 3, that's when LeBron should have gotten, like, they should have just each generation should have just got their own.
because of I don't know.
or
Apparently,
Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant in.
Branch.
oh, if they would have Jesus Christ, he did that again, didn't he?
He did that on
I
purpose.
will. I will
Where's
never
LB?
change.
Where is he?
He's crying
It's
somewhere.
blasphemy. I know he
The
is.
force.
He's rolling over in his 1 hour nap.
He's like,
Alright.
some dumb shit was just said.
Hey, I'm going to sign off, everyone.
All right, Cyber.
Okay.
Bye.
I'm gonna tuck up in a dog ball and go to bed.
Bye.
Bye.
But yeah, I don't see this movie even when we were post Corona making fucking money. Like, no one even.
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
think people
It's
remember
gonna
the
make
first
money,
one.
guy. Especially if it's in theaters in China. Like they love LeBron in China.
But not now. Shit's locked down.
LeBron.
I know.
I
That's why I
mean, this
said
should
if
be
everything
straight
was
to demand.
normal.
That logo is trash. I'm just gonna say.
Oh my
I
God.
like it.
Did you see
Oh
what
yeah.
Did you see what Grace Randolph said?
Yes. Oh,
Mm.
this is the thing. I love my Grace. I love my Grace, but sometimes she
She's a
just
bit
says outlandish
thirsty.
shit. I'm like,
Like
no,
he's
Grace.
married. Relax, lady.
Oh, speaking of
Yeah.
saying crazy stuff, I wonder if I don't think Zod heard what I said on my one
Oh
random
my
stream.
God.
Private.
No, you
Can
gotta
I
say
set
it.
the
You
scene?
gotta say it
Yeah,
here.
Can I set the scene for him? Because
yeah.
I
Go
don't
ahead.
think we're not. Yeah, there's not much to talk about with Space Jam other than like nobody wanted it. The logo is trash. The everything about it. The only thing that's going to be good
So
in the movie is literally the Looney Tunes. So look forward to a train wreck. Cool. Anyways, so we're doing a stream and we're playing a game that was called One Must Go. And the question is, which trilogy must go? And the trilogies are the Spider-Man trilogy, the Captain America trilogy, and the Dark Knight trilogy. So we're
oh
talking
boy.
about it for a little while, going back and forth, and we're trying to figure out like, well, how in the hell are we going to figure out which trilogy is going to go? Like, how are we going to weight it? And first we went, well, we'll do like movie against movie. The first movies all, going against each other, and then Captain America lost, and then we didn't really talk about the second one because I think that argument probably would have took like all fucking night. Like, how do you argue between The Winter Soldier, The Dark Knight, and Spider-Man 2? Those are all epic movies, but you can try. And then we get to the last one, the third movie. And we all agreed that of all three movies, Spider-Man 3 was the worst of all three movies. But one ridiculous son of a bitch on the panel had to say something that was so outlandish, it almost killed a black man on stream. Like I'm sitting here watching, and I thought that K Dots was dead. Tell him what you
Yeah.
said, perp.
Well, first I said, yo, I put Spider-Man 3 in the same ballpark as like Dragon Ball Evolution and Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I got a bunch of oohs and ahs for that. But then I took it a step further. I said I would rather watch Captain Marvel twice before I watch Spider-Man 3.
Oh man, no.
Yes, yeah,
No,
yes.
Incredible.
Spider-Man. Okay, Spider-Man 3 still did have.
It's
Okay,
hot trash.
it wasn't. it did not have the best constructed story. They put way too much shit in it, and the Venom suit, let's be real, was trash. But overall, it did try. It had some entertaining parts. I could sit down and watch it, and let's be real, even though it was cringy, Tobey Maguire dancing in that scene in the street was fucking hilarious. That I'm sorry, that's just downright
So
like
trash.
it's
Not my
so
spider.
bad.
Hashtag not my Spider-Man.
I would say that Spider-Man 3 was better than the new Andrew Garfield movies.
No.
Yeah, the Amazing Spider-Man was
Oh.
trash.
Amazing Spider-Man was actually on point compared to the fucking Spider-Man 3. I don't know what
You're
the fuck they
telling
trying to do
me
with
that
that.
Jamie Foxx's portrayal of Elektra was true to the
Yes,
character?
it
That's
was
the
better
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
all bet. It's basically Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2's villains were way better than the three shit that we got in fucking Spider-Man 3.
Oh, LB would be all over you about the Electro theme right now.
Dude, that
No.
was the worst. I mean, we're talking Jamie Foxx, award winner. This man can act. I mean, Collateral, he's had some good
What?
movies and then he's had shit. But I mean, he's got
And
acting chops.
he's
And you're telling me a man like that, that's the
him
best they can
alone.
pull from him.
Yes, him as just the villain was better than those three actors put together.
No,
I'm
I'm
getting
gonna have to.
trolled in the chat here. You see this? Trey says I'll take Spider-Man 3 over the Iron Boy movies.
Oh, shade.
Ridiculous.
Tripping. Can I guess it's said all said and done. Tom Holland's trilogy
Trey
was
is
better
not
than
mentally handicapped. He's just
Toby.
black.
If he says that the Iron Boy movies are better than Spider-Man, he's mentally handicapped.
Well, that's fair.
Wow, we got some argument here. Look, I think that the original Spider-Man trilogies, the original Spider-Man trilogy, I believe is better than most of the shit we've gotten in the 2000s.
Okay, but answer the question then. Because I'm a little disappointed that you didn't even once say fuck Brie Larson. Well, you didn't even say it once. And he said Perp said what he said on the stream, and you didn't even say fuck Brie Larson. I was like, well, who is this
Yes.
man?
And
I thought this was General Zod. I was like, if he was here, he would have said it half a dozen times by now.
I will
No,
I will say it again, so people could be so I could hear so people could understand me loud and clear. I would rather watch Captain Marvel twice, not one time, twice, than watch Spider-Man 3 again.
That means he's wasting 4 hours on Captain Marvel, whereas how long is Spider-Man 3? Like, what, 220?
yeah, roughly.
2.5? I don't remember
That's
how long it is.
220. I can't
It's
get
been
that.
it's been a while.
And to be fair, they're both bad movies, but Captain Marvel is really not that bad. It's boring. But I'd rather
Yeah, but I
watch
feel
those
like you're
two.
going to be watching it the same way that you were watching season 1 of The Boys, with a nap in the middle.
No, because the boys was definitely, definitely boring at
Dude, they
points.
blew up
But,
the Invisible Man from the inside out by inserting a bomb into his colon.
Yeah, I don't understand.
That's
I
cool.
will never understand your logic behind that. That show was amazing.
Anyway,
I've seen better. I think.
no, there's definitely better shows than The Boys. Yeah, but I need to get. We need to get Zod to answer the question. which trilogy goes.
Okay, so you got the
You're a
Dark
DC
Knight.
villain. You're obviously keeping the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah. So it'd be down to Amazing Spider-Man or the original
No.
Spider-Man
Yes.
and Marvel.
Captain America. So that
Oh,
means you got to get rid of Captain America, the First Avenger, the Winter Soldier, and Civil War, which is really an Iron Man movie.
shit, man. Oh, I would
Yeah, you can
say,
say Spider-Man 3 is a better movie.
oh my God. I would say I would. Shit.
Just say you
See,
get
it
rid of
really.
Spider-Man, man.
You would say you would have to waffle forever?
I would say I would get rid of Captain America.
Oh.
And
Terrible.
the reason why I say that is because the first Captain America was all right, and then they got better as they went along. Whereas when you really think about it,
The,
the Spider-Man movies was what
the,
what started Marvel in the first place. They showed Marvel
not really.
could be.
It was
Yes, the original
it was
amazing
it was
the
Blade.
original
It was
Spider-Man
Blade.
movies.
Blade was the first little comic book movie
Wouldn't
come
have
out.
Blade
Blade was the
without
one that
Spider-Man. Spider-Man came out before Blade.
no, it
Spider-Man's the
didn't.
reason you
Blade
got
came out in
Blade.
'99. Blade came out in '99.
All right, I can't pull up my internet while I'm on StreamYards, but we
I
have to look
can.
that up.
Let's which one are you looking up, Perp? You looking up Blade or Spider-Man?
The dates for Blade and Spider-Man, because I'm very sure
No, if he
the
looks up
first.
one and I look up one, it'll go super quick. I'll look up Spider-Man.
98. It came out in '98. You're done.
The first
98. You're done.
Spider-Man. Show me the first Spider-Man. 2002.
And then X-Men.
The black man wins again.
That's Blade 2. Yep, and that's when Blade 2 came. And before the first Spider-Man came out, there was already an X-Men movie out.
Oh shit! When did X-Men come out?
X-Men came out 2000 or 2001.
2000.
Well, I'm more of a DC fan, so there you
This
go.
fucking guy. He's like, I read the comic book. I don't know what year the movie came out. They all blur together. I've been cooped up for a month.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
I'll
you
even
tried
say
making the
like
same
Captain America
argument. Who
is
tried
better
making
than
that argument on the stream? Was that K Dots or Squeezy? I don't remember.
yeah. Like I don't understand this notion that like the first Avengers was a bad movie. Like no, like the first Captain America movie is really good. People are just hating on it. It's
The
way
first
fucking
no,
Captain
no, I
America
definitely
didn't
movie
better
think
is
it
than
was.
good.
Spider-Man
Hey,
3,
I'm
and
a
it's definitely
huge
better.
America fan. I'm just talking about.
The
I'll,
first
I'll
Captain America
I'll
has
even go as
Peggy
far as to say
Carter.
this: the first Captain America is better than all three of them fucking movies. I'll say that. That's facts. Like
No,
Doctor
no,
Octopus is
now
cool,
you're
but like that's
crazy.
Whoa.
about it.
You
That's all.
can't
You know,
say the first
Green
Captain
Goblin
America
was
was
trash.
better than Spider-Man 2.
Did I'll give you this? Did Spider-Man jump on a grenade? No, the fuck he didn't. That's all I'm saying.
Because he didn't have to.
That's a real hero.
He never put himself in the. It's
That's a real
fucking in the
hero.
Yeah,
middle of.
but the
And
the villain in
that Green Goblin
Spider-Man
was that Green
2,
Goblin.
the villain in Spider-Man 2 didn't lose to a cube.
Yeah, that's
Hey
facts.
man, Tesseract is very powerful.
I know it's
And if we
very
didn't get that,
powerful.
then there probably wouldn't be enough. And if we didn't get that movie, we probably wouldn't even got like a whole MCU and shit. You know what I'm saying, with the whole Infinity Stone. So booyah.
No, I would argue that it would be
Crucial,
Tony Stark who
crucial,
started
crucial,
that. Because
crucial,
if I remember,
crucial,
Iron Man
crucial
was
dude.
before. Iron
I
Man
mean,
was
I might
Was
before
put
there
Captain
Captain
America
America.
above the
was there
first
Tesseract
Spider-Man, but I
Man?
can't put it above Spider-Man 2.
Question, question. Was there a Tesseract in Iron Man?
No, but
Mm,
Iron Man kicked off the MCU. That's been stated several times.
Okay, but Captain America is the fucking leader. Who cares about this side nigga? Nobody.
yeah, but Iron Man
we
pays
can't
for
like.
everything.
Yeah, Captain
That's
America
cool.
wouldn't have a bankroll without Iron Man. He would just
Like,
be going
what
We
around
wouldn't have.
saying,
without
we won our
Iron
lost
Man,
shit.
what
Infinity
would
Saga.
Captain America be leading?
We what without the first Avenger, what like where would we be at as far as the Infinity Stones? Nowhere. We wouldn't even have the Infinity Saga.
But the
So they're both
Infinity
like
Saga
Iron Man
has to do with
and
Thanos. It's got nothing to do with the
and the
heroes.
Infinity Stones.
It's got nothing to
It
do with the
has everything to
heroes.
do with the Infinity Stones.
Yeah, it has to
The
do with the
Infinity. I'm
man
talking
searching
specific.
for the stones. Captain America was
Okay,
not
but that was the
searching for the
first time we.
stones.
It was the first time we heard about an Infinity Stone. Was the first Avengers. First Avenger.
I guess.
All
Semantics.
three Captain America movies, all three Captain America movies are crucial for the
Whoa, whoa,
overall
whoa, whoa,
like
whoa, whoa,
story of the
whoa.
MCU.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Gary North is trolling me in the chat because he's understating the facts. You got to bring up his most recent comment.
Okay, hold on a second. And that is
He
this one?
said, yeah, he said, Peggy Carter is fine. Like, what are you, just fine? That's it? Are you kidding me? Did you not watch both seasons of Agent Carter? And all you can say is Peggy Carter is fine? Unbelievable.
I totally agree, Matt. Oh man, like, oh, I could.
She is the hottest chick in the MCU. Easily.
I mean, literally, Captain America fucked with time to be able to tap that
Debatable.
for years.
Debatable.
He's like, I got some unfinished business. Like, yeah, I'll put the stone back, but I gotta do a dance. It's called the horizontal salsa.
But yeah, thanks everyone. We had our weekend late night. I'm about to wrap this shit up. It's been fun. It's been great to get back on here and to have a lively debate and perp with ridiculous comments. Has just made this night fly right past. Jesus Christ, perp.
Hey man,
You're gonna have my mind spinning all night about this shit.
I'm always speaking. I'm always speaking facts, man. Like Captain America movies are way more important than that Sam Raimi shits. Just saying. So
I don't even
people got
know
really thinking
how
about
you
these
got.
things.
No, the only thing that's groundbreaking in the Sam Raimi movies was the way that Spider-Man swings through the streets. They had never done that in the movies before, that fluid like that, because it looks entirely real. He doesn't look like a CGI character swinging through the streets. That's the only thing groundbreaking about those movies.
I just won't have any more hating on the master Sam Raimi. Okay, that's my boy. Evil Dead for Life, Army of Darkness. That man is a fucking creative
Yeah, man, those
genius.
are cool movies.
I love Army of Darkness. What's that have to do with comparing Spider-Man to Captain America.
Because
Because
Sam
I'll say
Raimi's
this, right?
genius.
What would the what would the MCU as itself like? If we just take all the movies down and you take out the Captain America movies. You got a lot of trash movies, man.
You got
You got you got a
Iron
lot of trash
Man
because
looking ridiculous like he's fighting a phantom.
Yeah, and you
But
Like,
got
I'm
that
real
trash
angry
Black
at this
Panther.
character that doesn't exist. He's like, I got this cell phone that doesn't reach anybody.
no, you can't bring up Black Panther because Black Panther's even better than way better than Spider-Man 3. Way better.
Black Panther's below Spider-Man 3. Black Panther's on
Not at
level of
all.
trash.
Dude, he said Spider-Man 3 is at the same
These
level as Dragon Ball Evolution.
racist remarks.
Fucking Wakanda forever.
Yes. Even
Fucking
exist.
yeah. Show me where the fuck that I've been to
Yeah,
Africa. Show me where the
look
fuck
at
that
this. Look at
exists.
the racist.
I'll give you $1 million. I
Hey,
mean,
man,
they were accurate about the
my
gun
movie made
running.
$1 billion, so
Yeah. We'll see if number 2 makes $1 billion.
it will.
I will be very,
Well,
very.
McGuire making a hate. No.
Because he's an award winner.
Dude, it's
When's Spider-Man
definitely
4
going to
coming out?
make $1
Never.
billion. It'll have a secondary hero in it that everybody can't wait to see.
We'll see. We will see.
Make $1 billion.
All I gotta
I'll
say
pay
is
Spider-Man 3.
I'll see Black Panther 2 $1 billion times before I see the Eternals. So
You didn't even what? It wasn't even made yet.
fuck the Eternals. Fuck it right up the ass. Fuck everyone involved, and fuck that motherfucker, PB. I don't care what you say. Fuck that motherfucker posing being a fucking samurai because he's from India, and I don't see those motherfuckers wielding swords. There's no one on the planet that can tell me there's some motherfucker in India right now training to be a samurai. I call bullshit.
Hey, there's some motherfucker in India right now training to be a samurai, and I am on the same planet as you.
Oh Jesus! But anyways, I'm gonna go down the line. This has been great. I hope people skip to this because wow, what a lively debate we had here at the end. But let's go down the line here and let's start off with Mr. Perp. Are you monetized yet, or is YouTube just like
Yeah,
not gonna
yeah.
ever monetize?
Yes. Yes. If you would show up to some of my streams, you would know that. But
If you didn't
yeah,
like
I'm
stream
not.
when
I
I have
would
to
have been
work
paying
5 in the morning,
attention. I would have been able to send the ever first super chat on his channel, but I wasn't, and I was beaten to the punch.
oh well,
I'm gonna
congratulations.
start an early stream. I'm gonna start an early stream just for you, Zod, so you can super chat me $20. You know what I'm saying? So just so I can cater to your needs.
Oh, yeah, I'm making that money. I get paid weekly now, man. I'll throw you 20.
That'll buy a lot of grape drink.
Yeah. So
Yes.
yeah, anyone who's watching right now or anyone who rewatches this, go over to Perp's channel, show him some love. He's been here in the fandom zone, hanging out with us. He's part of the late night crew. Go ahead and tell him about your channel, man. We're really glad to hear that you got that shit sorted out.
I, I I am a black man, so does that technically make me a black channel? Who knows? But yeah, it's perp minded. Check out my Drake review. He dropped a new mixtape. Should be talking about that on the Perp Show coming up on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? What else is coming? Should be on a few live streams here and there, but yeah, definitely follow me on Twitter to keep up to date what the fuck is going up on what's going on in Perp's world. So
What's your handle on
definitely want to
Twitter?
stay tuned because it is Perp Minded 420. Perp Minded 420, all one word, obviously. But yeah, man, it was fun. It's about time that we get back to the late night talks. Don't know what Zod's been doing all this time, but
Fucking working.
Sleeping.
glad to be back. Yeah,
Not in my house,
I can
finally.
slide and say he's just.
What were you doing at this exact same time last week?
Sleeping. Gee, I needed to sleep the weekend.
Thank you.
Shaking my head.
And of course, the man who's been ranting until we been doing late night talks, saying, "What the fuck? Where you at?" Brie Larson says she hates you. PB tried
What
everything
are you?
goading me.
Oh my god. All of these things are lies, people. Fake news. Fake news. 100% fake news. But yeah,
But
on
go ahead.
PB, you can find me at Pop Culture PB on YouTube and on Twitter, and at Prophets of Geek Culture, which is a channel that the three of us started with Cybernetic Husky and Stevie J Reviews. And it's a channel where you can come see people talk about the news and reviews, all things pop culture, and actually yell about things they're actually angry about instead of fake rage, because that's how we roll.
Absolutely. Yeah, Prophets of Geek Culture. We got some good reviews. My review on there of the Gotham High has just been doing surprisingly well. I think I'm still getting views off of it. If you want to see me break down that comic on there, I kind of give you
Yeah,
guys
just be
some
nice
panels.
that if you would inform me before you make a video public, because you don't know how to do a title.
You're so
I,
Shaking my head.
Yes, I know that I'm so nice to him. It's not my fault that I look at the title and I was like, oh, it's almost right, except for the fact that he didn't put a space after the colon between Batman and last night. And then you
who
couldn't read
needs
the thumbnail for
spaces?
shit. Like, look at my Twitter. Everybody go at my Twitter and look at that. And you'll see a tale of two thumbnails. Because I couldn't read anything in your fucking thumbnail. So I had to make a thumbnail. I was like, okay, what's the picture that he's using? And then put some new letters on it so it's nice and pretty now.
Yeah, but the colors were slightly off. Batman didn't use that yellow. That's why he used the
I
blue,
didn't.
black, and white.
It doesn't matter. People associate black and yellow with Batman.
Right.
People who read the comics know differently. If you checked out my
Look at
review,
you,
you would have known that.
snobbish.
I checked out your entire review on mute.
I know you did, you son of a bitch.
I watched it today at regular play speed on mute as I watched something else at faster play speed that wasn't on mute.
Speaking of which, if you want to check out my comic book reviews unmuted, I will tell you about all the great comics. I just did a poll, my first one on Twitter, and surprisingly, the Joker 2008 graphic novel won wildly over Punisher Max. So I will be doing a review on Scott Snyder's masterpiece, Joker, which coincidentally, the movie took a lot from the panels. Like when I review it, you can literally see scenes from the movie that were taken from the comic book panels. So it's a great story. It tells a grounded version of the Joker and has a very surprising ending. If you want that review, I got that. And I did some trailer reactions. And on Sunday, I've got 2 live streams. I'm going to be doing one with Mr. PB and LB on the fucking amazing episode we got of
Shut
Clone
up.
Wars. I'm not
Didn't
gonna.
watch it
Yep.
yet.
Okay. Well, let me just tell you, it's amazing. Anyways,
Yeah,
uh,
I seen
I,
LB's face in his thumbnail.
oh, it was. Oh, I can't wait. We're all just gonna be ecstatic. But it'll be me, Kermit the Log, LB, and PB talking Clone Wars, and then I'm gonna do a watch along to Penny Dreadful Episode 2, and we will continue our woke journey into the oppression of the Mexican people in LA, apparently, because that was a thing, and Nazis.
Oh, so
Keep in
you have
mind this
all
is
the title and description and everything laid out for that already?
fuck no. I'm gonna do that shit
Oh, okay,
tomorrow,
cool.
probably. Come on, you know how I do. But no, I'm gonna be doing that. It'll be directly after the episode premieres. I'm gonna do a live review and just give you my breakdown. I'm gonna have some notes and tell you what I think of the episode. So far, the first one was very underwhelming, so I didn't even bother fucking doing a review for it. So
Like
let's hope
your
the second
YouTube
episode.
statistics.
It was bad though. So if you guys are interested in Penny Dreadful, come and check that out. And we'll have our late night weekends now, Fridays and Saturdays at midnight. Come join the wackiness.
Oh, so we are
So,
doing this tomorrow.
oh yeah, yeah, I'm gonna be doing every Friday and Saturday. We will be having the late night weekends. I'm gonna dub them.
Come join the fandom Moonis.
Oh man, I love that. That is a great thumbnail. So, anyways, thank you everybody for watching. And you guys know the only rule here in the fandom zone: kneel before General Zod.
Neil before
Never. What?